What's up guys, it's Punchy, and today we are going to be talking about a game-changing hybrid talent that makes use of both Frostdraw and Flamecharm effectively. I've noticed that a majority of hybrid attunement talents are very expensive point-wise and are rarely used in combat. Like, I never see these, but I think this talent sets the standard on how all hybrid talents should be. If your entire build is dedicated to using multiple attunements more than one, they should be active a majority of the time. The talent I'm interested in testing is Temperature Shock, a Flamecharm Frostdraw talent. This hybrid talent is pretty cheap compared to all the other ones, costing 40 of each attunement, and both of these elements are pretty effective as hybrid tools. Frostdraw has several options that can be used as combo extenders or gap closers, such as Ice Slant, Ice Lasers, and of course, Ice Daggers, but it's pretty common to see these moves on all types of hybrid builds. That being said, many players still think that Crystal is the absolute worst attunement path to go because it trades out freezing and anti-heal for extra damage. Let's see if Temp Shock fixes this problem. Crystalization works in a very weird way. Each mantra does extra base damage and applies a temporary crystal to the enemy which lasts for a certain amount of time. Without using Temp Shock, there is a maximum of 5 crystals you can have on one enemy, and the next crystal will explode and get rid of all of them. It does not matter what mantras you use to apply the crystal, the explosion damage will always be the same. Of course, if you're using more damaging mantras to apply the status, enemies will be losing more HP, but the bonus crystal explosion is always going to stay consistent or the same. Okay, now that we know how crystal works, here's why it's kind of weak. Earlier, we said that all of our crystals explode when the maximum amount of 6 is applied on one enemy. Well, that explosion will not happen unless you hit 6 crystals. As you fight better players, it becomes increasingly more difficult to apply 6 crystals before they dissipate. A lot of players won't get value out of crystal explosions because their enemies, just won't get hit. Well, Temperature Shock changes this. Instead of having to build up 6 crystals to deal extra damage, Temp Shock will explode any crystal on your enemy to activate that bonus explosion. Of course, at 6 crystals, it still blows up automatically, but anything below 6 crystals is free game for Temp Shock. The fewer crystals, the less bonus damage, but you will be getting more explosions in the long run, so instead of gambling on that extra damage, it's consistent bonus damage. I don't know about you, but I would rather trigger a 5 crystal explosion multiple times in a fight instead of a 6 crystal explosion once, because overall Temp Shock lets you deal more damage more of the time. This hybrid talent is great because it encourages resource management and wants you to use both Flamecharm and Frostdraw effectively. It's a lot better than something like Stormlink, which can only be used with a static connection, and Temperature Shock is something you will always be getting use out of, and it's great on any crystal hybrid build. To be honest, I'm not sure what direction the dev team will be taking future hybrid talents, but this one is effective at a low cost. Hopefully they take notes from its design and put them to use later on. That's all for now, and tell me down below what hybrid talent they should make in Deepwoken. As always, make sure to like and subscribe, and of course, have a good one. It's punchin' time.